Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. This is a channel that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So today we're doing that show that comes out every Sunday, Commonalities Compared, featuring today two bands, Slade and The Sweet. These two bands have quite a bit in common. The funny part is that I absolutely adore one of them. The other band, I don't really care much for. But it just goes to show you that just because two things are very similar doesn't necessarily translate. You know, it's the same with Kansas and Styx. I love Styx. They're one of my favorite bands. And Kansas I could do without, right? It's just the way it is sometimes. It seems like I'm splitting hairs. Maybe I am. I don't know. I can't force myself to like something I don't. Anyways, the two bands we're doing today for this episode are Slade and The Sweet. So both of these bands came out in the mid to early 70s, or early to mid 70s, I guess is a better way to put it. Slade had some instant success with a number of hits that drove them to the top. The Sweet took a bit longer to get there. They had lots of internal problems. They had problems with management. They had health issues. They had style issues. But both bands started out as glam bands, dressing the parts. The Slade with all of their costumes, and The Sweet with all of their makeup and dress and costume as well. But both bands had that going for them. The second thing that they both had going for them is they both had a number of hits. Initially, The Sweet had hits from people that were writing songs for them, but they got away from that because they wanted to do their own thing. This was the managerial problem, so then they started to make their own stuff. Both bands have quite a few hits that are fairly poppy, mid-range songs that are radio friendly, but the bulk of their material from both bands is more of a hard rock, heavy metal sound that you get from the more deep cuts on their albums. Both bands are like that. It's not just the one. All the members, I believe all the original members of Slade are still alive, whereas with The Sweet there's only Andy Scott. He's the only one left from the more notable lineup from these two bands. The Sweet and Slade are both British bands coming out of Britain during that pop era time. They both tried their luck in the States and didn't have a great deal of success. The Slade doing this early, like in the mid 70s, and not having a great success, then came back, whereas The Sweet kind of gradually tried to infiltrate the North American market. If actually, I think they've had some success in recent years. People have been looking back at the stuff that they've produced and noting that it's very good. So, but for me, it's the same issue. I do like some of the deeper cut stuff from Slade, the heavier metal side stuff, and the same with The Sweet. I tend to like their deeper cuts better than their radio stuff. But in the case of The Sweet, I do like their radio stuff as well. You know, Fox on the Run, Ballroom Blitz, Wee Willie. I like those songs, but I prefer the deeper cut songs, where with Slade, not as crazy about their radio friendly stuff, but much more in tune with their Come On Feel the Noise stuff that they did as well. And some of the other bands obviously like this too because they copied those songs. So both bands big in the 70s, kind of waned in the 80s, and have, I guess, essentially just done reunion tours, maybe little bits of comebacks here and there, but never really materialized out of that 70s style, never really got back on top, although I think Slade had a little more success with that in the 90s than The Sweet did, although The Sweet tend to made a bit more of a recovery later days as it is now. Sorry, I got something in my eye here. Yeah, so I do like both bands. Not so much Slade, though. They're not a band that I follow. They're not a band whose albums I collect. If I hear them, I won't turn it off, but you know, I'm disinfected from them, I guess. Whereas the Sweet I absolutely adore, I love. I have one of their albums. I intend to collect all of them at some point. I think their music is fantastic, especially the deep stuff. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of commonalities compared by these two pop, hard rock, heavy metal bands that came out, or mostly glam bands that came out here in the 1970s. If you've liked this episode, please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. And the notification bell so you don't miss any more of what's going on the channel. And if you have any comments about the two bands, you can put those in the comment section below. Maybe there's some things that you think I missed that should be included. That's always good, because anything that adds to it makes the picture better. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next Sunday night with another episode of Commonalities Compared. So take care and have yourself a good one. Goodbye.